University of Ottawa. Good afternoon, Raywat.
Good afternoon.
You hear that report from Global's Robin Gill. We have asked Manitoba's top doctor about, do we stick with the age-based rollout? And so far, that's what we're going to continue doing in Manitoba, still saying that everything is on the table. But should we not be looking to the east and to the west and maybe target the vaccines in a different way? Or do you align with that age-based approach?
It depends on the situation in the province, right? So if the disease is being clustered in certain neighborhoods to an extreme degree, especially where essential workers are living and essential workers who cannot distance and who live in multi-generational housing, then it makes sense to retarget. If on the other hand, you have a more equitable distribution of disease burden, then you stick to the age-based. It also depends on how close you are to ICU capacity. So the age-based stratum is based on the assumption that these are the people most likely to be hospitalized. With the new variants, that target has dropped to a younger demographic. Now, Manitoba doesn't seem to have the same burden of the new variants, so it may not be yet indicated to change your strategy. But, these things change on a dime. So we watch the data in real time and make decisions accordingly.
Are we doing enough testing to find all these answers out as quickly as possible?
We're never doing enough testing. Well, we can always do more. We can use testing to greater effect. You can use testing to keep things open, to avoid outbreaks. We can use rapid tests. I don't know why we're not using rapid tests more liberally and more creatively in order to keep businesses, factories, things like that open. So the answer is we're doing enough testing to know that there's a problem. We're not doing enough testing to target resources accordingly and to use testing strategically.
A wise person tweeted today that they believe a fourth wave is coming this summer. That wise person would be you. Why do you think that things have been bungled enough that we could not only experience the third wave, but a fourth?
So when I say I expect a fourth wave, I don't expect a fourth wave. I think now a fourth wave is more possible than it was a couple of weeks ago. My original projection was that this will be done this summer because we had things well in hand. We had the vaccine rollout. We knew what to do. We had to close things down and slow down transmission. But most of the country did not close things down sufficiently or sufficiently hard enough. So in Ontario, we're seeing imminent ICU capacity overload. Our restrictions that are put in place are, to my mind, insufficient. We're only now having whispers of school closures. We didn't act fast enough. And frankly, we don't have enough vaccines, in arms at least. So if you look at the UK, they were in a similar position that we are in now back in January. They were struggling with their variants of concern. They had to endure 3 months of hard lockdown, drown the country in vaccine, and use rapid testing to great effect. We're not doing any of those things. So we may have to take a similar hard route in order to quash this thing once and for all and to avoid that fourth wave.
The Ontario Premier has announced all schools in that province will move to online learning next week. Raywat Deonandan, we always appreciate your time with us. We thank you so very much.
Thank you.